Welcome to This Explainer. I am so deeply honored to be talking with you today on behalf of Dr. Leah Skinner, Ed.D. She is a certified dyslexia therapist and, crucially, a mother of neurodivergent children herself. Today, we are diving into exactly why specialized tutoring works for learning differences, and we're going way beyond the standard and, honestly, often heartbreaking practice of grade retention. So often, well-meaning schools will just suggest holding a kid back, and that practice leaves children feeling completely broken and parents feeling totally helpless. But I am here to tell you there is absolutely a better way. We're going to explore how we can actually support our children's beautifully unique minds, not by forcing them to just repeat their struggles, but by truly unlocking their brilliance.
So should you hold your child back? Just picture this for a second. Put yourself in that tense, overly quiet room of an IEP meeting. The fluorescent lights are buzzing slightly overhead, and as a parent, you've just got this heavy, terrifying pit in your stomach. The school's experts sitting right across the table from you have just recommended grade retention. And they often frame it as a gift, right? They'll say they want to give your child another chance or the gift of time. And sitting in that chair, it feels like it has to be the only option because, well, the professionals are the ones suggesting it. You might even be sitting there feeling this profound sense of failure, just wondering if you could have somehow done more. It's a situation completely fraught with deep anxiety and an overwhelming pressure to just nod and agree. And I completely understand how suffocating that exact moment is for a loving parent. I really want to validate that anxiety for you right now. Dr. Leah brings over 20 years of clinical experience, plus her own personal journey as a mom, and she has this core philosophy that just cuts right through all the noise of those intimidating meetings. Her belief is this: if the instruction did not work the first time, repeating the year does not change the instruction. She brings so much fierce compassion to this topic because she knows exactly how you feel. Think about it. Repeating the exact same broken instruction, just with a new calendar taped to the wall, simply does not fix a learning difference. It's a fundamental mismatch. It's not just a matter of needing another lap around the exact same track.
Section 1. The illusion of more time.
Okay, so we really need to unpack why retention feels like the right move, but is actually a complete illusion. Retention is essentially a placement decision, and it's built on this flawed assumption that a child just needs a little more time and a little more effort, rather than a completely different instructional method. But here is the thing. For children with learning differences, the problem is literally never a lack of effort. As a parent, you already know this. You see them trying so incredibly hard, practically working themselves to exhaustion at the kitchen table every single night. The true barrier is that the standard classroom method is a complete mismatch for how their brains actually process information. So expecting a child to just do the exact same 9 months all over again, pushing them to try harder at a method their brain just cannot absorb, that's not an instructional plan. That is just a recipe for heartbreak.
Standard instruction ends up failing because it basically assumes all brains process information in the exact same way. But a beautiful neurodivergent mind requires very specific keys to unlock its potential. For instance, dyslexia needs systematic phonics to actually break the code of reading. Dyscalculia needs a multisensory math foundation so that numbers finally make sense in space and reality. Dysgraphia requires direct motor planning instruction to literally connect the brain to the hand. And ADHD? It needs carefully built scaffolds that actually fit attention regulation. Asking a child to just push through for another 9 months without addressing these highly specific neurological needs just creates deeper frustration. It shatters their self-esteem and leads to even more tears over untouched assignments.
Section 2. Homework tutoring versus specialized tutoring. So there is this massive point of confusion for loving families who are just trying to get some help, and it all revolves around the word tutoring. Understanding this distinction is going to be truly life-changing for your child's academic journey. Standard homework tutoring is usually delivered by wonderful, super well-meaning college students or general educators. They sit down, they help your kid get through tonight's math worksheet, and they help them pass Friday's spelling test. But ultimately, their variable schedule and approach leave the underlying neurological learning gap completely unchanged. Specialized tutoring, on the other hand, is a true clinical intervention. It is delivered by certified therapists. It's targeted intervention perfectly matched to your child's specific brain gap, and it results in permanent, measured progress. Both of these things use the word tutoring, but only one actually rewires how the brain learns. When Dr. Leah says specialized, she literally means applying exact, scientifically backed methodologies to specific learning profiles. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. For dyslexia, that means structured literacy programs like Orton-Gillingham or the Wilson Reading System. For dyscalculia, It demands multisensory math interventions like making math real. Dysgraphia needs direct instruction in motor planning and orthographics, using programs like the Institute for Excellence in Writing. And ADHD requires highly specific scaffolds for executive function and self-management. This is an absolutely crucial takeaway for us. Unless the instructor is extensively trained in the exact evidence-based methodology that your child's brain needs, it isn't truly specialized. And without that, it just won't close the gap. Section 3. What the research proves. Let's shift gears for a second from methodology to the hard emotional data that IEP teams rarely, if ever, discuss during those super stressful retention meetings. 1,000. That is an important number. That is roughly the total number of instructional hours in a standard school year. 1,000 hours. If the instructional method is wrong for your child's unique brain, those 1,000 hours are going to produce absolutely zero progress. It is just agonizing to think of a sweet, incredibly capable child struggling, masking, and trying their absolute best for 1,000 hours, feeling like they're somehow broken, only to be told by the adults in the room that they need to do it all over again. And the toll this takes on a child's tender spirit is absolutely devastating. In a 2024 study looking at dyslexic primary students, researchers found that 36.5% showed symptoms of depression and 26.3% showed symptoms of anxiety. We are talking about very young children carrying the heavy emotional weight of feeling inadequate every single day. Holding a child back just stacks another traumatic year of mismatched instruction right on top of these already staggering baseline rates. As parents, as advocates, we simply have to protect their spirit and their mental health first and foremost. We have to value their well-being over arbitrary academic calendars. Furthermore, the long-term, documented costs of grade retention are seriously alarming. A 2025 study by Mariano and colleagues revealed that retained students in New York City faced drastically worse outcomes than their peers who weren't held back. They dropped out at significantly higher rates, they took fewer core exams, and they ultimately graduated with fewer credits. The evidence here is abundantly clear, even if schools are a little slow to adapt to it. Retention often causes far more harm than good, and it creates this ripple effect of academic disengagement that can honestly last for years. But listen, there is so much hope here. 40 years of reading intervention research proves a really simple, powerful truth. According to a 2023 meta-analysis in the Reading Research Quarterly, larger doses of targeted intervention produce larger gains. The effect size there is 0.33. Dr. Leah really wants to reassure you with this incredible fact. Targeted, specialized tutoring produces measurable change in months, not years. You really do not need to surrender a whole year of your child's life to a repeated grade. The more hours of the right, brain-aligned instruction your child actually receives, the bigger and more beautiful those gains are going to be. Section 4. The 6-month roadmap. So let's transition to a hopeful, actionable plan. We want to show you exactly what the light at the end of the tunnel actually looks like for your family when you choose intervention over retention. It starts right at intake, where an optional comprehensive assessment identifies your child's exact needs and perfectly matched instruction begins right away. By month 3, this is huge. Parents finally breathe a sigh of relief as they start seeing real change. The kitchen table literally stops being a battleground of tears. Anxiety drops, and there's a newfound willingness to learn. By month 6, the triumph truly sets in. That specific academic gap the school flagged for attention, it actually begins closing. Replacing that lost year with 2 to 4 specialized sessions a week completely heals your home environment and, most importantly, restores your child's confidence. Section 5. Your right to say no. This brings us to a critically important realization, and I really want you to hear this. You hold the power. Before you sign any paperwork, Dr. Leah strongly urges you to take these 3 steps to fiercely advocate for your child. Step 1. Ask the school what specifically will be different about the second year. If the instructional method is the exact same, well, the outcome is going to be the exact same. Step 2. Request an independent educational evaluation if you disagree with the school's findings. You are totally allowed to seek outside expertise. And Step 3. Exercise your legal right to simply refuse to sign the retention paperwork. Now, I know saying no to a room full of professionals is incredibly hard, but it is your absolute right as a parent to protect your child. You have the absolute right to say no to retention. There is a scientifically proven, much better way, and expert, compassionate help is available for your child right now. If you're looking for a roadmap to specialized tutoring, you can call Reed Learning Center at 916-234-5880.
Why repeat an entire year of broken instruction and unnecessary trauma when you could spend those exact same months actually unlocking your child's brilliance? You hold the pen here. What is their next chapter going to be? Thank you so much for learning with us today.